It's locked. Are you all right, miss?
I don't know. Who were those people? They wanted to...
They've lost their minds in the epidemic. They won't come back for now.
You seem to know a lot about them, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm investigating this disease.
I am Xiaoxun. Thank you so much for helping me, Mr. Reed. I must go to the cemetery now. Goodbye.
Carnage. Is Father Whitaker's disciple among the bodies, I wonder? This man's far too old to be Samuel. No. By the look of his clothes, this man's a docker. Samuel isn't here. I had better follow the blood trail. As I feared, Samuel no longer preaches the good word. Is despicable. I can't believe I'm doing this. This is despicable. It's locked, all right. This is Braille. I need someone who can read this. I cannot enter. It's locked, all right.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Do you need medical attention?
I'm feeling all right, Doctor.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
Yes, Jonathan?
May I ask you some questions?
Please do. I have promised to answer you.
I don't understand.
That...
I've been hearing a voice.
Hush.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Good evening, Dr. Tibbets.
Doc...
Do you need any medical assistance?
Yes, indeed.
I have no doubt.
I appreciate your concern, Dr. Reed. To be honest, I just did...
Goodbye, Doctor. Good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Do you need medical attention?
Don't get me wrong, sir.
I'm certain you have your... Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of yourself. Hello again, Mr.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you need medical...
Afraid so.
Throughout history, some diseases have done more damage to armies than any weapon created by man. You are one.
You're working at the Pembroke Hospital, aren't you?
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
Damn it! Why is this so difficult every time?
That is better. That is better. I will make it through one more night.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
I know you're taking drugs, Corcoran. Why take such a risk?
I need it to endure the long shifts. We have no idea how long the epidemic will last. We can't let it win.
I understand the gesture, Doctor. An immediate answer to an emergency situation, but this can't be a long-term solution.
Thank you for your understanding, my dear colleague. And be assured, I have total control of my consumption.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
To give you the benefit of the doubt.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
I located the shop, but it was vandalized, and the owner is missing. All I found was your order.
I was afraid of such bad news. People are so desperate they're ready to burgle a shop for drugs.
That's quite a list you ordered. Opium, sodium hypochlorite. It can't be just headaches you're trying to cure.
This dreadful influenza, of course. I already ran some tests on hopeless cases. Without success, I must admit.
Do you realize you could create a lethal poison without the correct dosage? Then there are the legal ramifications.
Is this not true of any medical substance, Dr. Reed? However, if you would agree to improve it, I'd be glad to accept your help.
As long as you promise to be scrupulous with your experiments, I may try to gather these substances, and even help improve upon the mixture.
That's all I'm asking for, Dr. Reed. That's all I'm asking.
I want to know about these secret tests you run, and if they can save people from this epidemic. Speak to me now, Thoreau.
I know I may sound presumptuous, but I'm just following your steps, Dr. Reed. I'm casting away the shadows of ignorance by daring to face them.
Self-confidence is essential in our line of work, my young colleague, but only if tempered with the correct amount of cynicism.
But you never doubt yourself, Dr. Reed. I've read all your articles and books. You performed the most daring research during the war.
You can't be serious. You have to stop this before you lose yourself. Lives are at stake here, remember?
I'm a competent doctor, and my value has been proven already. Frankly, I'm disappointed to hear you, above all, speaking so ill of me.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland. I can't let Strickland put his patients at risk with opium. Perhaps an adjusted formula will deliver more of a placebo effect.
Pembroke is so lucky to have Dr. Reed.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
You're pushing yourself too hard. You don't have to bear the burdens of this hospital alone.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Do you need any medical help? Goodbye, Milton.
Another night with the glorious battalion.
This is Braille. I need someone who can read this. Are you all right, sir? What are you doing in a place like this?
I'm not sure that's any of your business.
I hope you realize that staying here will put your life at great risk.
Pah! I'm not afraid of these guards of Priwen, or whatever these thugs call themselves. I can still kick some respect into those youngsters.
I wasn't specifically referring to them, but are you really...
They took my boy!
I see. But
Well, this part of town used to be...
There is a name engraved under the blood on the back of the case. Jack Gillingham. Maybe I should return this watch to his family. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Why must it always be a good evening?
I was just being polite.
Don't like questions or doctors.
What can you tell me?
A shithole filled with maggots.
Are you thinking about someone?
No. Hate them all. Special.
Is there no one?
Well, Tom from our local is somewhat of a decent bloke.
What's your...
I take care of my mum. That's what I do.
You seem upset.
I lost the necklace I bought her. I'm a fucking idiot. A worthless idiot.
Sometimes it's hard to be a good son.
I just want her to smile. No, I was thankful for her patience, appreciated like... God knows she deserves it.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne. Good evening, Mr. Fishburne.
Yeah.
Do you require medical assistance? I don't know which kind...
And is it your purpose as well, Mr...
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne. Good evening, sir.
Whatever.
Don't you recognize me? We met a few nights ago.
Don't take it personally. I spent a lot...
Yes, you had...
I'm Dyson Delaney.
Inebriation aside, do you need med...
Yes.
Take this, then.
Hey, Doc, you don't really...
What do you do for...
I drink.
Why do you drink?
Maybe it's because I prefer dying slowly. Death can be so abrupt. Personally, I like to see my...
You sound very...
That's because I...
Don't you work?
I'd love to, but...
Is there anything in particular?
How dare you say so?
No reason at all.
Let me tell you a story.
All right. Go on.
A few years ago, when I believed a resolute man could change things around here for good, a tragedy occurred nearby.
What kind of tragedy?
It was a bomb. Bomb that exploded and killed many people. Metal and blood everywhere. Shouts, fire, broken window of the shoe shop, the torn street light.
You lost people you loved that day, didn't you?
I've lost everything. But you know what the worst part is? I don't even remember where it happened. I've drunk so much to forget it. And now I can't remember where it was. I can't pay my homage to the dead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Delaney.
It's okay. If you ever find the place, just leave a flower for me there. Even if you tell me where it is. I'm not sure I'd memorize it.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say so?
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
Be he cursed or not, he's just another lost orphan. Good evening.
You remember?
Of course I do.
Thank you.
I'm still top.
What can you tell?
It's not that...
Who? Shh. What can you tell?
It's not that bad. Thanks to people like the...
Who?
Shh.
How is it you can keep this place open?
Well, since everybody needs a drink...
I see. So you get...
Or something like that. Nothing that a few wise would...
Since I'm here...
Well, perhaps, Doctor. Peace partly depends on my stock of gin.
How could a physician...
I have a small warehouse just past the quarantine...
Doctors aren't immune to disease, you know.
Oh, thank you, sir. Here's the key.
You're something of a figurehead around here.
I'm only pouring alcohol for every...
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
I think I'm losing. I should just run as far away from this place as I can.
I think drink no longer stays.
Evening, miss. I'm much more...
Welcome back to the Turquoise Turtle then, Doc.
What can you tell me about this?
People don't appreciate that line of...
You look concerned.
This is a bad borough. Most people I know...
If you're uncertain about your safety here, the docks might not be the right place for you.
I got responsibilities.
This place seems... how shall I put it? Very
We get people of all sorts here. It's that rare place in the docks where you...
So this bar is neutral territory, then?
Yeah. Tom's convinced this is something the locals need. No one ever draws a weapon here. That's one of the reasons I accepted the job.
Your boss must be quite the
Yeah. Tom's a great bloke. Mr. Hampton, who runs the night asylum, he's the only other man that's able to keep peace around here.
Excuse my curiosity, but where exactly are you from, Miss Cavendish?
Something bothering you? What, my name? Or my complexion?
Believe me, I never judge someone on their place of birth or the color of their skin.
If that's true, you'd be one of the few not to make fun of me. Just you, Tom, Dyson, Miss Fishburne, and of course Mr. Hampton.
I'm sorry if I worried you. I was just curious to find out if you know this part of town well.
Nosy. My dad was a sailor from Bombay, and my mum was a maid born up in Glasgow. They got married in London. And here I am.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish.
Times like these, a good drink's just as likely to cause a problem as to solve one.
Stupid or something.
Tom has so much alcohol, he could keep this district afloat for quite some time.
Welcome back, Doctor.
You lied to me, Tom. Your warehouse wasn't empty. It was inhabited with armed vigilantes.
I'm sorry, Dr. Reed, but I thought those Prewen guards would be willing to let someone like you pass without trouble.
That was devious of you, Tom. Next time you can bloody well go yourself.
I apologize, Doctor, but it's just that I prefer to avoid the law, its enforcers, and all manner of thugs in uniform.
Here is your booze. I hope it will appease your customers. Just try not to kill anyone with this poison of yours.
Believe me, Doctor, most of my customers are less agreeable when sober.
Tell me about your arrest for attempted murder, Tom.
I tried to kill someone. I got arrested. I paid my debt and I have nothing to hide.
So you mean your customers know about your sordid past?
Yeah, why do you think this is the last pub open? I have nothing to hide and I don't judge. That's a relief for many round here.
Do you think prison changed you? Made you a better man?
Oh, I don't know about that. All I brought back is bad memories, scars, and an ugly tattoo of a blue turtle.
But do you feel cleansed of your sins?
All I know is that I'm at peace. I did what I did, but I wouldn't do it again. Does that make me a better man?
You attempted murder. Give me some details.
I was given an order to kill. I was an obedient gang member at the time, a proud wet boot boy.
Why did you join the gang?
Because I finally felt useful. Do you have any idea what it means to feel respected when the rest of the world shits on you?
So you were ordered to kill someone. What happened then?
I don't know if you can possibly understand, but I couldn't kill him. I just stood there pointing my gun. Someone saw me. I gave up.
Why couldn't you shoot?
My target was eating in that fancy restaurant with mirrors and music. He was eating, drinking, laughing. He was having such a good time. I hated him for his bottomless appetite and easy life of easy pickings. And then something happened.
You refused to kill him because you wanted to feel some of that happiness yourself. You empathized with him.
Exactly. The man was a bloody landlord who rented overpriced flats. A selfish bastard. But he made me smile. And I was no different from him.
Why not leave town and start a new life after you got out of jail?
I grew up in the East End. This is where my roots are. This is where I want to help others, and die, eventually.
Do you think the docks will always be a hive of scum and villainy?
As long as poverty and fear run the show, I don't see how it would change. Misery loves company, as they say.
Don't you feel threatened? Staying in such a violent and criminal neighborhood?
I've made peace with my violent past, Dr. Reed. I may not be a pacifist, but I'm not angry anymore.
Why does your waitress feel in danger working on the docks?
This part of town is dangerous for all, but for women it's worse, as always. Sabrina is a brave girl, but she can't help feeling in danger.
Do you think she has good reason to feel this way? Are you not worried about her safety?
Of course I am. The truth is, she's tougher than me deep inside. She just has to learn to control it.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
Times like these, a good drink's just as likely to cause a problem as to solve one.
You still working at this?
Tell me, Sabrina, do you really believe Tom has renounced his life of crime?
He proves it to me every day.
And you don't think he might...
We can all do terrible things.
Were you aware of Tom's past incarceration?
That's the first thing he told me when he offered me the job.
Did it surprise you to find out about it?
Not really. I was already aware of his reputation before I met him. That's why I came to the Turtle in the first place.
Most people would have run away because of that.
Not me. I thought a man like him could give me stability, you know? At least to some degree. And I wasn't mistaken.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish.
Well...
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
What with the epidemic, no one dares go outside. Damn it. I think they know what to do.
Good evening.
What?
Surely you must have had dreams and expectations when you were...
Sure. I wanted things to change.
Sounds like you were an idealist.
No, sir. I was an anarchist and I...
Do you really think the world is that bad?
No.
I want to know more about...
I'm still an anarchist, Doctor. Make no mistake. I just
Do you still see your comrades, then?
No. I hope they'll come to share my point of view one day.
Do you believe in a bloodless revolution, then?
I do not believe in much anymore, Doctor. But I'll admit I like your idea of peaceful change. I like it a lot.
Is there anything...
How dare...
Is there anything...
How dare you...
No.
Let me tell you...
Another time.
How dare you say such a...
Why are you...
Cynicism is the polite way.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney. Hello, boy. Did I scare you?
No, it's just that...
Well, I won't.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kings...
Do you need help?
A real doctor caring about me. That's a first.
A real doctor treats everyone the same, Rufus.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
What can you tell me about this region?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse. Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Where else would I go? At least I know these...
What do you do around here, Rufus?
I listen to the news on the docks, sir. And I smile at those kind enough to spare me a bob.
Do you have a job?
It's hard to work, what with my head and all. Since I was a boy, I've always had trouble remembering what I do and why I do it.
What do people say about this place?
Things have been tense between the wet boot boys and the...
Are you alone? Where is your family?
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home? You're sleeping rough?
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
This city has abandoned so many of its children. It's tragic.
Well, I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul. Sometimes it's like she replaces the mother I lost.
So long, Rufus. Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reed.
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburne. Stella Fishburne. And yes, indeed. I can't remember the last time I had a good sleep. I've been nothing but worried.
It's locked.
So you have questions about the flu, then?
Yes, among other...
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like straight...
How is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know. But it's most likely linked to the gangs, if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you can just die in the gutter and...
May I ask what...
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope factory, but it...
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no. My Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
How do you pay the rent, then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in. It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
The orphan that regards you as a mother. Please tell me about him, Stella.
You mean Rufus? I wish I could do even more for the poor boy. Most people are so selfish.
But you're not.
Years may have passed, but I haven't forgotten how it feels to go through days with nothing but an empty stomach.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne. Take care of yourself.
I can't remember the last time I had a good sleep. I've been nothing but wrong. Please don't stay. I'm not sure yet.
So lovely.
I have this thirst for blood. This is despicable.
Best turn around if I were you. Go back home, idiots! Crush the... Get their weapons ready! Oh, Christ! Burn it, boys! Fight for this! Spy vermin!
It's locked, all right. I cannot enter.